Hey all, welcome to week 2 of English 1020 online. So I want to do a couple of things in this week's introduction video. First, I want to go over our weekly activities, hit all the to-dos, and look at our schedule. Then I want to do a little bit of maintenance, just because several people have had questions about where to submit things and how to submit things. So I want to go over a little bit of that on our Blackboard site. Then I want to do a tiny bit of a deeper dive into Project 1 assignment description. And then I just want to follow up with a few quick things about our composition learning community. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm in our Project 1 folder, and I'm going to go down here to our Week 2 activities folder. Now, under Week 2 activities, first thing you'll want to notice is that we're focusing on the concept of argument, and we're also going to read my favorite chapter about writing process by Anne Lamott. This week, you'll need to watch this video, your types of argument mini lesson, and a little TED Talk, which is really awesome. You'll need to read Chapter 3 of the textbook, pages 55 to 71. You'll read this chapter from Anne Lamott's book, Bird by Bird, which is hilariously called Shitty First Drafts. And you'll also read the article that you've chosen for Project 1. You'll write annotations on your article, a couple of reader response blogs, a summary assignment, and a reflection journal. So a smorgasbord, if you will, of smaller assignments. You can see on the calendar how I've spread these out to make the work a little bit lighter. By Wednesday, aim to print and annotate your article and have Chapter 3 read. Friday, aim to have Shitty First Drafts read, watch your mini lesson, and complete your summary and your second reader review blog. And then on Sunday, you can watch the TED Talk, review your article, and write your reflection journal. Okay, so speaking of these assignments, let me show you one more time where to submit everything. Over here on our menu, we can see that there are 3 separate folders for these regular assignments. Here is the blog folder. When you click on it, you'll be able to pull up the entire list of blogs. And when you click on any individual blog prompt, you can read the assignment prompt and you can create your own blog entry by clicking this button up here. Now, reflection journals work much the same way. We come over here to our menu, we click reflection journals, and here you'll have separate reflection journals. So one thing you might notice is that the blogs, you can look at each other's blogs, even comment on each other's blogs. Reflection journals are more of an individual thing. When you click on a reflection journal assignment, you can create a journal entry by clicking in pretty much exactly the same location as you can create a blog entry. So far, so good. Probably really easy. Now, there's been a lot of questions about the project builders, so let me show you really carefully how to post those. When you come over to your menu, click on project builders, and this is where it might get a little tricky. So the project builder assignments can be either opened up entirely so you can see the whole assignment from the menu, or they could be collapsed so you only see the title. Either way, whether it's opened fully or whether it's collapsed, in order to submit a project builder, you need to click on the link. When you are inside the assignment, what you can see is that you can view the due date, the rubric, and most importantly, down here below, you've got your assignment submission link. So you can either write a submission in a text box, or you can upload a file by clicking Browse My Computer. Hopefully that will help you when you are uploading your project builders. Now, several people mentioned last week when you were looking at the reading that annotations are going to be really important to rhetorical analysis, and you're right. So what I want you to do is, when you've chosen the article that you're going to analyze for this Project 1 rhetorical analysis, you'll make notes on the article or annotate it. And I would like you to pay attention specifically to some of the things that we talked about last week and that we're going to focus on this week, particularly the rhetorical situation, the types of arguments that you see, and that's about it for right now. So pay attention to the rhetorical situation. That is the audience, the message, and how the author is coming across. And remember, we talked about how that can kind of make a triangle. So you want to think about the author's persona, their credibility, how they're coming across, what is the message that they're trying to get across, and also who's their audience, why are they trying to target the audience in this particular way. And then think about the types of arguments that you see, both the main argument that you see this author making and any sub-arguments you see supporting that main argument. That's what you want to look for when you're annotating. Okay, so now I'm back in the course materials folder, and I'm going to go into Project 1. And this time I want to look a little more carefully at our Project 1 assignment description. So I'm going to click here. What you guys will notice is that just like the project builders, when you click on this link for Project 1, you see the due date, you're able to view the rubric, and all the way down here at the bottom is where you will submit Project 1 at the end of this unit. So bookmark that in your brain. But one thing I want to focus on today, since we are thinking a little bit more deeply, we went over the introduction and the rationale last week. Now I want to go over the assignment prompt in a little bit more detail. So Project 1 asks you to write a 1,500 to 2,000 word paper that identifies, describes, and analyzes, this is the key part, the argumentative and rhetorical strategies used by the author of the article that you pick. You'll use this basic outline. And last week we talked about the rhetorical situation, which is something that you will identify in a short paragraph within your essay. So you're going to need to be able to summarize the article you've chosen. And you'll also need to be able to describe the rhetorical situation. In addition, we'll be analyzing the types of arguments used in the article, along with the rhetorical appeals, which we'll get into more next week. But this analysis of the kinds of arguments is something that you'll be focusing on this week, and you can use the mini lesson and the chapter that we're going over this week to help you identify the different kinds of arguments. We'll think about the identify piece from that assignment as identifying the main point of the article and the arguments, the rhetorical appeals, all of those pieces. First of all, we need to be able to know what they are. Then, when we describe them, we'll get into more detail. And finally, when we analyze these pieces, we will break them apart to try to see how they work together. Overall, in your analysis essay, you'll want to make a claim. Either this article is effective, it's making a good argument that works, or it's not so effective. It doesn't really work. It's not very persuasive. Either claim you make, you need to have evidence, and that evidence is going to come from your descriptions and analysis of those component pieces, the rhetorical situation, how well the author is addressing that rhetorical situation. You'll need to think about the types of arguments that the author is using and the rhetorical appeals, which we'll talk more about next week. Okay, so finally, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about being a part of the composition learning community. So you guys saw Kasim's introductory video, and I was so happy to see that most everybody decided that I would win in an arm wrestling match, which of course I would. But all joking aside, I would encourage you to reach out to Kasim, shoot him an email. He has taken my English 1020 course and did really well, I don't mind telling you. He has a lot of good insider information to how to survive and thrive in Nicole Vardy's course. So shoot him an email, see if he might want to grab coffee, or if you see him around campus, feel free to say hi, bother the heck out of him. He loves it. But also, as part of the composition learning community, we need you guys to do us a solid, and there's a reflection prompt that I'd like you guys to fill out and email me. So it's just a quick reflection prompt. If you could write a brief reflection about what you even think about being in a composition learning community course. What even is that? Do you know? It's okay to write if you don't know what that means. What are you expecting from Kasim? What are you expecting from me this semester? I'll post this reflection prompt as an announcement, and if you could, please fill it out and email it back to me. I'd really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks.